Sheikh Hasina sentenced to 10 years imprisonment in separate Purbachal plot scam cases. Tulip Siddiq sentenced to 4 years while Azmina Siddiq and Bobby to 7 years imprisonment each. National parliamentary elections and referendum campaign underway across country amid festive mood. Candidates going door to door with various promises and plans. BNP to transform troubled Khulna industrial city into developed city if in power, says party chairman Tariq Rahman at election rally. Moheshkhali in Cox's Bazar to be developed as smart economic zone, says Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman at election rally. Remain united in interest of journalism despite disagreements. Information and broadcasting advisor Sudha Rizwana Hassan urges journalists. If United States attack Iran, regional war could begin, warns Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And in Nepal, Bangladesh beat India by 2-0 goals in SAF Under-19 Women's Football Championship. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is Upama Shaha with you on BTV News. You have just heard the headlines, now moving on to the details. In 2 cases over plot scam in the Purbachal New Town project, a court has sentenced deposed former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to 10 years in prison, imposing 5 years imprisonment in each case. Judge Mohammad Rabiul Alam of Dhaka Special Judge Court 4 also fined Sheikh Hasina 2 lakh taka and handed down an additional 12 months of rigorous imprisonment. In the same cases, Tulip Siddiq, a British member of parliament and daughter of Sheikh Rehana, was sentenced to 4 years in prison, 2 years in each of 2 cases. Radwan Mujib Siddiq Bobby, her son, was sentenced to 7 years in prison in 1 case, while Azmina Siddiq Ruponti, her daughter, was also sentenced to 7 years in prison, along with an additional 6 months imprisonment and a fine of 1 lakh taka. In these cases, the only accused to surrender, Rajuk official Khurshid Alam, was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in 2 separate cases and fined 1 lakh taka. The remaining 18 accused in the cases were handed down various prison terms. The International Crimes Tribunal has scheduled the next hearing for 5th February in a case involving enforced disappearances and torture at the Joint Interrogation Cell JIC during the rule of the ousted Awami League government, implicating 13 accused including Sheikh Hasina and several military officers. The order was issued today by Tribunal 1 led by Justice Ghulam Murtuza Mujumdar following the completion of the 6th day of testimony. Today, the tribunal recorded the remaining testimony of the case's 3rd witness, former Brigadier Abdullahil Aman Azmi, who himself was a victim of enforced disappearance. His first day of testimony was recorded yesterday on 5th February. Lawyers representing the accused military officers will cross-examine former Brigadier Azmi. Meanwhile, the same tribunal will continue the 3rd day of witness hearings today in another enforced disappearance and torture case related to the Rapid Action Battalion's TFI cell. Later, Tribunal 1 will also hear witness testimonies in a case concerning the killing of 28 people in Rampura, Dhaka during the July mass uprising, where 4 accused including BGB officer Ridwanul Islam are facing charges. Separately, the International Crimes Tribunal has set 17th February as the date for issuing an order on the framing of charges in the murder case of Imam Hassan Taim, the son of a police officer who was killed in Jatrabari, Dhaka during the July mass uprising. This order was passed today by Tribunal 2 headed by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhary. Earlier during the hearing, the tribunal rejected a plea by state-appointed defense lawyers seeking the discharge of the accused from the case. The case names 11 accused, including former DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman and police officer Sudeep Kumar Chakraborty. This morning, a total of 17 arrested individuals in these cases were produced before the tribunals. A writ petition was filed with the High Court challenging the eligibility of BNP candidate of Dhaka 11 M.A. Qayyum over allegations of dual citizenship and concealment of wealth information. National Citizen Party NCP convener Nahid Islam filed the writ petition with the HC bench concerned today. It also sought a stay order on the candidacy of Qayyum. Lawyers for Nahid Islam said that under the Constitution of the country and the Representation of the People Order (RPO) of the Election Commission, a person holding dual citizenship is not eligible to contest elections. They also allege that Qayyum concealed this information and claimed they have evidence proving his dual citizenship. The petition is scheduled to be placed before the High Court for hearing on Tuesday. Chief Election Commissioner CEC AMM Nasiruddin today held a meeting with a three-member delegation of National Citizens Party NCP at Nirbachan Bhavan in the capital. NCP Joint Member Secretary Advocate Humaira Noor and party leader Arman Hussain attended the meeting. Secretary of NCP Subcommittee on Administration and Election Commission Affairs Ayman Rahat was also present. After the meeting, Ayman Rahat told journalists that NCP urged Election Commission to ensure swift arrest of those involved in the killing of Jamaat leader in Chinaigati on January 28. He said NCP delegation also raised concerns over safety of women during election period. Election Commission assured the delegation that it would take necessary measures promptly. A total of 1,94,914 postal ballots from expatriates have reached Bangladesh ahead of the upcoming 13th Jatiyo সংসদ election and referendum. Team leader of the OCV SDI project on expatriate voter registration, Salim Ahmed Khan, said this today. He informed that 7,66,862 ballots have already been dispatched to expatriates registered through the Postal Vote PD app. Of these, 5,22,315 voters abroad have received their ballots, while 4,64,225 have completed voting, he added. Salim Ahmed Khan also said that so far 4,18,962 ballots have been deposited in post offices or mailboxes in respective countries. In addition, Bangladesh Posts have forwarded 1,859 ballots to returning officers. The Election Commission has also begun sending postal ballots to voters residing inside the country. Salim Ahmed Khan further informed that a total of 15,33,684 voters, both at home and abroad, have registered on the app to cast their votes through postal ballots in the 13th JS election and referendum. The police headquarters has announced dedicated mobile numbers for its operations control room to address complaints related to law and order ahead of the upcoming 13th national election and referendum slated for 12 February next. A press release of the Home Ministry said people can now directly contact the control room at 013-200-1223, 013-200-1300 or 013-200-1299. These mobile numbers will remain open round the clock and 24 hours a day to ensure prompt response and assistance in maintaining public safety. In the press release, citizens are requested to use these numbers for reporting emergencies and law and order related issues. Meanwhile, the Dhaka Metropolitan Police DMP has introduced special hotline numbers to remain active throughout election period to ensure swift police response and maintain law and order. According to a DMP press release, the hotline numbers are 013-200-37358, 013-200-37359 and 013-200-37360. BNP chairperson Tariq Rahman has said that if the BNP comes to power by winning this election, it will transform the crisis-ridden industrial city of Khulna into a modern industrial hub, ensuring employment opportunities for women as well. He said an inclusive and aspirational Bangladesh will be built for all, adding that agricultural cards will be provided to farmers alongside family cards. Tariq Rahman made these remarks today while addressing a public rally as the chief guest at the Probhati School ground in Karishpur, Khulna, organized by the Khulna Metropolitan and District BNP. Addressing the rally, Tariq Rahman said that no development is possible by leaving behind a large segment of the population, women, and therefore an aspirational Bangladesh will be built by including everyone regardless of religion or ethnicity. BNP chairperson Tariq Rahman began his first phase of election campaigning on January 22nd in Sylhet. Most recently, on January 29th, he addressed election rallies in the northern districts of Rajshahi, Naugao, Bogura, Rangpur, Sirajganj and Tangail. Today, he concluded his tour with visits to the southwestern districts of Khulna and Joshore. BNP chairperson Tariq Rahman said that Begum Khaleda Zia had made education free for all females and pledged that if voted to power, BNP would provide family allowance cards to all mothers and sisters. BNP leader made this commitment as the chief guest at election rally held at the Central Sports Ground in Joshore, Uposahor this afternoon. Tariq Rahman alleged that a certain political party is desperately trying to foil the upcoming election, just as the previous government robbed people of their right to vote by holding an election at midnight and employing other underhanded tactics. He urged everyone to resist any attempt to rig the polls during vote counting. BNP leader also made several development promises, adding that if his party forms the government, it will export flowers abroad from Joshore. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman said Cox's Bazar would be developed into an international standard tourist destination through the establishment of justice, good governance and the elimination of corruption. Addressing an election rally at Bahar Chora Gol Chottor in Cox's Bazar. Describing the upcoming election as a route to restructuring the state and ending a political culture that repeatedly produced authoritarianism, Dr. Shafiqur Rahman said this is not an election like those of 2008, 2014, 2018 or 2024. This election is for changing the state. The election is expected to fulfill the aspirations of the July martyrs and fighters and pave the way for a new Bangladesh from the day after the polls, he said. The Jamaat Amir said women would be honored and provided full security at home, on the streets and at workplaces, adding that the state would bear their educational expenses. He said these initiatives should not be considered discrimination, describing them as women's rightful entitlements. He also vowed to ensure justice for all irrespective of caste, race, religion or position and stressed the need to establish a standard university in Cox's Bazar. With the election knocking at the door, only 10 days remain until the parliamentary election. After a long wait, a festive mood surrounds the democratic voting process across the country among candidates, their supporters and general voters. Centering on the referendum and the national parliamentary election, nominated candidates accompanied by party leaders and activists are going door to door to voters and offering a flurry of promises. Campaign activities are being carried out through mass rallies, street meetings and courtyard gatherings. For the first time, voters will cast 2 votes each in this election. Alongside the general election, public curiosity has grown over the historic referendum, where people will decide by voting yes or no. Despite the many promises made by candidates in the competitive race, voters want to see those pledges implemented. They aim to elect candidates who can turn development plans into reality and help build a country free from terrorism and corruption. Jamaat-e-Islam NCP convener and the candidate nominated by the 11 Parties Alliance carried out an electioneering campaign today in the Kunjabon area of Rampura in the capital. Seeking votes with the Shaplakoli election symbol, he went door to door from Kunjabon through East Rampura to Titash Road and exchanged greetings with voters. Speaking on the occasion, Jamaat-e-Islam said they are moving forward with the goal of upholding truth and justice by protecting people's voting rights in accordance with the rule of law. A mobile music program has been launched in the capital to promote the Electoral Code of Conduct and encourage young and female voters to cast their ballots ahead of the upcoming referendum and the general election. The program was inaugurated this morning at Shegun Bagicha in the capital by Muhammad Abdul Jalil, Director General of the Department of Mass Communication under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. In his inaugural speech, Muhammad Abdul Jalil said that voter awareness is important to ensuring a free, fair and participatory election. He emphasized that active participation by young and female voters would further strengthen democracy. He added that the main objective of the initiative is to convey the Electoral Code of Conduct to the public in a simple and enjoyable way through cultural performances. Organized by the Divisional Information Office, Dhaka, the mobile program will be staged along key roads and in major public gathering spots across the capital. Organizers hope that the initiative will create a positive response among voters and increase voter turnout. Information advisor Saudar Rizwana Hassan has called on journalists to remain united in the interest of journalism despite differences of opinion. Rizwana Hassan made the call today while speaking as the chief guest at the Media Festival 2026 organized by the July Revolutionary Journalist Alliance at the Jatiyo Press Club. Jatiyo Press Club General Secretary Ayub Bhuiya, Dhaka Union of Journalists President Shohidul Islam, Dhaka Federal Union of Journalists President Obaidur Rahman Shaheen, July Revolutionary Journalist Alliance President Abdullah Tuhin and General Secretary Israfil Faraji, among others, addressed the function. The day-long event featured discussion sessions, a fair and a cultural program, and in the evening. Now, international news.